Yo, what's good? It's your girl Crombie coming to you with another episode of Talking Football with Crombie, and this episode is about to get wild, so let's get it. If you're like me, then you're wondering what happened on Thursday night. And we had the Bears take on the Bucks, and the Bears won. Yup. Head scratching. At least that's what Tom Brady showed when he was throwing up 4. And he had already thrown an incomplete pass on that fourth down. And the game would end with a 19-20 score in favor of the Bears. With plenty of games to watch in Week 5, there are 5 key games that I'm looking forward to that are must-watch for any football fan. Carolina versus Atlanta. Matt Ryan comes in as the 4th rated quarterback for passing, and his offense overall is ranked 5th. Carolina, on the other hand, the last 2 games, they found a way to win, and they've done it without Christian McCaffrey. Something that a lot of people didn't believe would be possible. But Matt Rule, Teddy Bridgewater, they found a way to get wins and get them in the grittiest of ways. Since C-Mac has been out, they've been able to win 2 consecutive games, and they've also had more points per game and more rush yards. Right now, Atlanta's head coach, Dan Quinn, he's on the hot seat. His team is 0-4, and right now, they're going to have to dig themselves out of a hole that they created themselves. I have Atlanta winning this game. I think they find a way to get a win. I think Dan Quinn, his job being on the line, is really going to motivate this team. But I am concerned. They've got some issues on the back end of their defense. And if they don't have a way to shore that up before Carolina gets there, Robbie Anderson, he's going to have himself a day. Don't forget to tune into this one. If you're a Cowboy fan, you probably hate the Cleveland Browns after they completely dismantled you guys last week. But we got Indy and we got the Cleveland Browns. 2 teams that, when head-to-head, they match up pretty well. But Indy's dealing with some significant injuries. Mainly Darius Leonard, their best defensive player, in my opinion, by far. But Cleveland right now, they're 3-1. They're on a roll. This is the best start they've had in 19 years. Yeah, since 2001. So what happens when you take the best defense and you take Baker Mayfield? Well, 1 of 2 things can happen. He can have a great day if you're a less than 500 team, or if you're above 500 team, it's probably not going to be a good outing for him, seeing as though he is 4-11 in his career. Currently, the Colts have only allowed 12 points or less in 3 consecutive games. That's the first time since 2013, so it's been a long time. The Browns, they're running the ball on 53% of plays. If there's a way to get your defense tired, it's when they get the ball run on them. And the Cleveland Browns, they're going to run it down your throat. But not just that. Cleveland has an elite player on the defensive side with Myles Garrett. He currently leads the league in 8 takeaways in the past 2 weeks, 11 takeaways overall, and he's had a strip sack in 3 straight games. I'm worried about Phillip Rivers, but I just cannot take the Cleveland Browns this week. I'm sorry. I'm going with the Colts. I know that sounds crazy, but the Colts are over 500. We know that Baker Mayfield is 4-11 when he plays teams that are above 500. So I'm going with the Colts. Frank Reich, you know, you my dog. So definitely going Colts. Minnesota versus Seattle. Kirk Cousins versus Russell Wilson, or as I like to call him, dangerous. And he's been nothing less than that. He's completing 75% of his passes, and I'm not just talking about dink and dunk. In 3 of the 4 games this year that he's played, he's gone over 300 yards. And we haven't even talked about when he gets in the red zone, how they are 13 of 15. The boy is balling. And the lights are never too bright. But for Kirk Cousins, he might want to get some shade, because when he plays in prime time, he's 7 of 15. He's not good. The Vikings have one of, I think, the most dangerous wide receiver weapons. And no, I'm not talking about Adam Thielen, even though I think he's a dog, because he is. But I'm talking about Justin Jefferson. Yeah, you probably heard his name before. And if you haven't, he's probably going to get a Rookie of the Year nod from a lot of players with his play thus far in the season. Seattle has allowed the most reception yards to opposing wide receivers this season. So not only will Jefferson have himself a day, but I think Adam Thielen is going to get back in the mix. And we'll be talking about, I got a Thielen. I thought it was good. Now, along with those 2 wide receiver weapons that Minnesota has, we can't forget about Dalvin Cook. You know, the NFL rushing leader right now. You know, the guy that has at least 1 rushing touchdown in each game of this season? Yeah, that guy. Unfortunately for the Vikings, though, I'm taking Seattle. Russell Wilson's just been playing out of his mind, and I would be out of my mind to pick against him. So, I'm going Seahawks. Chargers versus Saints. Herbert versus Breeze. Herbert was 6 when Drew Brees had what many believe was a career-ending shoulder injury. He would go on to be the all-time passing leader, the touchdown leader, pass yards, and pass completion leader. I guess the Chargers, they just didn't have faith, but Drew did. Herbert, on the other end, he's gone on this season to have a pretty good rookie year as a starting quarterback. He would be named the starter this week, and in my opinion, he'd already taken the job from Tyrod Taylor. It was just a matter of time. While Drew Brees has broken a lot of the quarterback statistical categories, or he's at the top of all of them, he hasn't been the same quarterback that we've seen year over year. And when we look at his passing yards, they're down. He's averaging about 251 pass yards per game. That's his lowest since 2005. Yikes. But at the same time, when you have players like Kamara and Murray in your backfield, you know, 2 running backs that have gained 786 yards and, you know, 7 touchdowns from scrimmage in 4 games, you don't really have to do much. Just hand the ball off. They'll do the rest. Even though the Chargers are 1-3, they have been very competitive in every game this season. Every game has ended with a margin of 3 to 7 points. So they were right in it, but just couldn't close it out. In the end, I got the Saints. They down in the bayou. They have Mercedes-Benz. It's not going to be good for the Chargers. Drew Brees still feels some type of way about how he had to leave what was then San Diego. Buffalo versus Tennessee. It's a battle of the unbeatens. Titans coming in at 3-0. Bills coming in at 4-0. Josh Allen has basically put his name in the MVP conversation and said, hey, this is my 3rd year, and this is what I got. Now, Tennessee's been red hot. And when I say red hot, I mean with COVID. This team had over 21 coaches and or players test positive. Not good. And there are probably going to be some type of repercussions from the league once they get to the bottom of how the team became a super spreader. I wonder if they were at the White House. What's ironic about the Bills and Titans game is that since 2015, these games have always been played week 5. And each one of these games, the Bills have won by 7 points or less. But something to note, Mike Vrabel, prodigy of Bill Belichick, he's one of 3 head coaches that has never lost coming out of a bye. Enough about the Titans. These Buffalo Bills are getting it done on defense, and then on offense, Stephon Diggs is playing like he needs a new contract. On the road, Stephon Diggs is averaging 134 yards. Woo! But when he's at home, he's averaging a little under 68. So talk about somebody that likes to take it to somebody else's house. Stephon Diggs isn't just good for yards. He's made Josh Allen better. When Josh Allen targets Stephon Diggs, he has a passer rating of 122.7. Before Stephon Diggs, his passer rating, 78.2. Diggs is making a big difference down there in Buffalo. And we won't forget about Smoke Brown and the other offensive weapons that they have on the Bills, but it is very clear that there is a difference in chemistry with Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs. With all of the players that Tennessee has out due to the COVID restrictions, I would be out of my mind to go with the Tennessee Titans. So I'm not. I'm going with the Buffalo Bills. I like what the Bills are doing. I think that they win this game. I know that Mike Vrabel has never lost a game where he's had 10 plus days to prepare. I know he's never lost a game coming out of a bye. And quite frankly, I don't care. I love Mike Vrabel. I've been talking about him since this show started. So about 4 weeks. But in seriousness, I'm going with the Buffalo Bills. I think they take it to the Tennessee Titans. Now that we've got the games to watch of week 5 out the way, let's do a speed round of the rest of the games for this weekend and who I think is going to win and a couple reasons why. And go! Raiders versus Chiefs. I don't think that I need to go into detail on this, but I have the Chiefs because the Chiefs are the better team. Not much to say here. This is considered to be an AFC West rivalry, but in the words of Derek Carr, in order for something to be a rivalry, you gotta win games. And it's gonna be a rough game for the Raiders because the Chiefs, they didn't have a great outing last week, and I think that they're gonna turn that around this week, and they might put up 50 plus on the Raiders. Cardinals versus Jets. The Jets absolutely suck. Adam Gase should have been fired. If Bill O'Brien got fired for less, what are we waiting on Adam Gase for? All I'm going to say is Joe Flacco starting. I'm taking Cardinals. Eagles versus Steelers. Now, this game is actually interesting to me because you have 2 defenses that lead the league in sacks. Philly with 17 and the Steelers with 15. And I'm a little bit worried. I always get worried because, week 1, Carson Wentz got sacked 8 times. The Steelers have a stout defense. Carson Wentz will scramble. He will also throw a pick. He's already got 7 interceptions this year. That's through 4 games. He's got 7 interceptions. In his last 3 seasons, he had 7 interceptions total each year. I got Steelers at the ketchup bottle. However, I will say that Big Ben, the Philadelphia Eagles are kind of like his kryptonite. Rams versus Washington. Washington just benched their quarterback in Dwayne Haskins, and I'm not surprised. I mean, he played the Ravens last week, and he had a pretty good game, but overall, I think Ron Rivera knew that he's not their cute quarterback of the future. So we're going to put in Cal Allen. So with that said, I got Rams, and you want to know why I got Rams? Because the Rams are the better team. I got the Rams. Period. Bengals versus Ravens. My Ravens. I got us. What do you mean? I don't know if you guys are seeing a trend, but I'm always gonna pick my team. Like, why would I think we're gonna lose? We always want to win. We want to win. In the words of my quarterback, yeah, I think Joe Burrow's been great, but I don't want him to have a good game against us. No, I don't. Joe Burrow, I like this kid. I said this a couple weeks ago. I think that he's shown great poise. I got Ravens. Jaguars versus Texans. I picked the Jaguars a couple weeks ago to beat the Dolphins, and ever since then, I cannot pick them again. I just can't pick them. And then Bill O'Brien, the Texans we have something from Bill?
They fired me, man. They sent me my pink slip in an envelope. I know we 0-4, and we haven't gone 0-4 since 2008, but it's killing me, man. I mean, I got in an argument with JJ Watt, and after that was it, man. It's
wow, didn't know we were gonna have something from Bill O'Brien after he got fired, but cool. This game's a toss-up for me, but I'm gonna go with the Texans. They have Romeo Crennel. That's their interim head coach right now. He was basically a co-head coach while Bill O'Brien was the head coach / GM, which should never happen, but it did. But whatever. I'm going with the Texans, and I'm not confident. I'm not confident. I'm just not. I'm sorry. I'm just not confident. Let's move on. Dolphins versus 49ers. 49ers are very injured, but they are coming off a loss last week after Nick Mullins I had so much faith in Nicky, and then he threw an interception, pick six, that even I wouldn't have threw because I saw it. But they get Garoppolo back this week. I got the 49ers winning this one big. Giants versus Cowboys. At some point, the Cowboys have to get a win, and they got to get a win big. So why not do it against the Giants? You know, a team that hasn't scored a touchdown in 2 consecutive games. Ezekiel Elliott has had less than 100 yards in all of the games this season. This has never happened. So if I'm Mike McCarthy, you gotta find a way to get Zeke the ball, because having Dak Prescott throw for 450 yards for three consecutive games, that's great. But guess what? Y'all lost all those games. I still got Cowboys winning this game because the Giants suck, and they may be tanking because Daniel Jones, he hasn't had above an 80 passer rating anytime this season, and he's literally the only player that hasn't. Like Brett Rippon has, Sam Darnold has. Joe Flacco probably will this week. I'm just saying. I got Cowboys. Monday, Broncos versus Patriots. The Patriots are coming off a loss that I think was a little bit heartbreaking to the rest of the league, because we all wanted to see the Chiefs lose, and if there was a team that could do it, it's the Patriots. It's Bill Belichick. It's the mastermind. And while he did find ways to stop the Chiefs, they couldn't get it done. So going into this Broncos game, so I got the Patriots. I don't think there's anything that the Broncos can do. I don't want to discredit the Broncos offense, because they do have players that have been balling. They haven't won in New England since 2006. It's been a while. We're a quarter into the season, and there are some players that have really made their mark. Let's talk about them. Let's start off with the most devastating pitch and catch combo. And it's probably a quarterback that we all know. That's Aaron Rodgers. But the right receiver, it's not Devontae Adams. It's Alan Lazard. Who? Yes, exactly what I said. So Rodgers and Lazard have been especially deadly on deep balls. I'm talking 20 plus yards down the field. They've connected on 3 or 4 attempts for 158 yards. And in weeks 1 through 3, before Lazard went on IR for core muscle injury surgery, they had connected for 13 of 17 passes for 254 yards. That's 14.9 yards per attempt. There was 2 touchdowns, and Aaron Rodgers had 157.1 passer rating. Off the charts. Now, let's talk about the best unit. And this award goes to the Pittsburgh Steelers defensive front. I talked about them a little bit earlier. Their defense is stout. And let's talk about why. Pittsburgh interior D linemen and edge rushers have a 90.2 overall grade from Pro Football Focus this season. That's the highest mark for any non-QB position this season, period. Now, they lead the league with 5 sacks per game. They're pressuring quarterbacks on 41% of dropbacks. The next closest team is the Rams, and they're only coming in at 32%. Very impressive by this Pittsburgh defensive line. But the biggest debate a lot of the times is, who's the best quarterback? We love Aaron Rodgers. This week he would say that his down years are some quarterbacks' best years. But he's not the best quarterback in my opinion. It's Russell Wilson. We've been talking about Danger Russ for weeks, and he continues to impress. And quite frankly, he has to, because his defense, they suck. Like, they're actually bad. But right now, Wilson leads the league in yards per attempt at 9.4. He has a passer rating of 136.7. That would best Rodger's single season NFL record of 122.5. Russell Wilson leads all quarterbacks in pass yards with 430, pass touchdowns with 7, and passer rating of 147.7 on throws of 20 plus yards. So when he chucks the ball downfield, he's better than any other quarterback in the league. And we already know what he does in between the 20s. He gets work done. Russ. Dangerous. To close out this segment, I want to talk about some rookies that have been playing like vets. Joe Burrow. He has gotten better each week in his decision making, his toughness, and the way that he sees the field. Justin Jefferson. We've talked about this baller, potentially a Rookie of the Year candidate. CeeDee Lamb. He's outpaced Michael Gallup in the wide receiver room for the Cowboys. He has 21 catches and 309 yards and 2 touchdowns in 4 games this season. Justin Herbert, who I said is the best rookie quarterback. He's had the opportunity to not only have to step up to the plate, but he's shown that he can step up to the plate. And he's made great throws week in and week out. And this dude has a cannon. But what about the undrafted rookie for the Jaguars, James Robinson? He's been probably the biggest surprise of this rookie class. And currently he has 60 carries for 285 yards and 3 touchdowns. And not only that, he's also caught 14 passes for 161 yards. Leonard Fournette, who? And one of my new favorite players, Chase Young. And although he's been out with a groin injury, he was leading the league prior to the injury. Tampa Bay got another great pick in Tristan Wirfs, their offensive tackle. Although that didn't show up in that Bears game when Khalil Mack was in Tom Brady's lap. all game, Patrick Queen. The LSU standout who is now leading the Baltimore Ravens defensive team in tackles. He has been a force. And then there's Jonathan Taylor, the Colts running back. After Marlon Mack went down, he had to step into some bigger shoes. And in the last 3 games, he's posted 100 yards and also been able to catch the ball with 10 catches for 90 yards. And closing it out for me, Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Shit. Anybody know how to say his name? He has been a great fit in this Kansas City Chiefs offense. He's been tough. He's been physical. And you know Patrick Mahomes likes a running back that can catch out the backfield. And he's been nothing short of phenomenal when doing that. These are the rookies that have been playing like vets. And I see a very bright future if they can keep up on the pace that they're currently on. I want to thank everybody for tuning in to another episode of Talking Football with Crombie. And don't forget to like, don't forget to share, don't forget to subscribe. And I'm going to see y'all again next week. Let's get it.
Silly talk, you know I'm on walk, yeah, I got a mask and the main attraction, yeah, I run it up like Lamar Jackson, yeah. You think I'm a lame, I don't say much, but I'm hanging out the window, I'ma spray much, yeah. Niggas wanna go to war with a battle, oh Lord, I'ma have to.